everyone. Hope you've had a fabulous week and that you're all practicing like crazy and enjoying the tutorials that I'm uploading on a Friday. By now you should have quite a collection. If you've started from the beginning and you have worked your way through buying the paper that I recommend, or an A3 160 gram, it doesn't really matter what the brand is, and worked your way through the tutorials, you should have a nice build up in your sketchbook, and hopefully you've been practicing so you have a nice book to actually sew together, a sketchbook to sew together, which is what this is all about. So today I thought that we would dive in and we would go for something a little bit more advanced. However, please do not be put off, because I will guide you through it. And this is a beginner's course, and this is something that you can all learn to do. So apply yourself and have fun doing it. We're going to draw this eye. Be given permission. This eye belongs to my son. I absolutely love this eye because it is so detailed, and basically we are going to get this shape. We are going to try and get as much of this detail in that we can, this beautiful iris and pupil. So please have a look at how I do it. Have a look at how I check that I have everything in place, that my size is correct, etc., etc. We'll go through it slowly. And then you can pull off your own photographs and practice. Practice is key to everything, as you know. So let's start with a 2H. As you know, this is my preferred pencil to start with. And let's just have a look at the outline of this eye. So it goes up and it starts to curve from here. So you go up, it's a third of the eye. If you have a look and see, this is a third of the eye. And it starts to curve down towards the outer edge. And then it comes around the bottom edge. Is not as much of a curve, obviously, as what the top is. You can see that this is the eye socket. This is where the eyeball fits in to the skull. And this is your tear duct. It's beautiful. It's a lovely, lovely picture. And you can see that this is the lower edge of the lid. You can see the little bit of the top edge of the lid and all these gorgeous eyelashes that he has. We're not going to go into hyperrealism yet. We will do that at a much, much later stage, but you can see all these beautiful details. Everybody has these crinkles at the bottom of their eyes, these little white hairs, these pores. I love this. And then obviously the top where the lid goes into the top of the eye socket. So let's have a bash at it. We can start by measuring from the edge of the tear duct to the outer edge of the eye, and we can get that down on our paper. Can measure it. Get that down. It doesn't have to be exact. It can be more or less the measurement. We have that. And if we look at this eye, we can see that halfway, so if we take this point to that point, which are in a straight line, you can see that there's a lot more happening at the top. So if you were to put this into thirds, the bottom part is only really 1/3 and the top part 2/3. So if we measure this way, let me get this in line here for you. If we measure this way, even if we measure from the top to the bottom of this lower lid, and we get that in there, and the bottom, we've got more or less an idea of what the size of this eye is. And I'm drawing this quite big because I want you to get an idea of what it is like to draw a wet eyeball. So let's start. So we've got the tear duct, and you can see that that is almost, this shape is almost an oblong with one side longer than the other. So we'll get that shape. Sorry about that, the video turned itself off. I seem to be having a lot of problems technically technically with my phone, between my phone and my laptop, so that's fine. So we've got this third, and then it starts coming round, and it goes all the way to here. So we have that third. We wanted this in a straight line, so I've already gone out on that. You can see I have not got that right. This is how you will check your measurements. And this part here, you can see that I'm out. It is more than a third, and that's fine. We can get that line in. The bottom line is a more of a curve. You can see that is consistent, whereas this goes up and then it comes down here. So you've got it up and you've got it coming down there. Right. The side of this, you can see that there's a lot of black lashes on this right hand side. Don't worry about that. Let's work on the eyeball. So we've got the tear duct, which goes from there to there. And then we have got from the tear duct to the edge of the actual eyeball, goes from there to there. We can get that in. You can see at the top goes in slightly, comes beautifully round. Just want to get that lower lid more defined, because there is a gap here with the lower lid, and then it comes up and around over here. So let's get that shape in. This is quite a lot of shadow and quite a lot of dark happening here with the eyelashes. So let's just get that marked out. Comes up and around here. Then we've got this lid that is showing, and then it disappears into that area there. Right. We also have a bit of a shadow here. Right, and then we've got the iris, and the iris, sorry, not the iris, the pupil. Pupil is looking straight at us. So let's try and get that gaze looking straight at us. Just roughly put it in with your pencil. Right. Get this eyeball looking round. Right, so that is the very, very basics of drawing the first part of the eyeball. Now we're going to move to a 2B, and we're going to start putting in some of those darks. We're going to start here. Remember how I showed you how to hold your pencil? Hold it on the side so that you get that side and not the point. You don't want the point at this stage because you are not putting in eyelashes and details. That requires the point. Okay, and then we're going to do this. It's quite a big shadow coming in over his eyeball and down the one side here. And we are now going to shade in the iris. Let's put in the light spots, which is, one is here, one goes across there, and the other one is shorter, but also a block goes across there. Okay, let's shade in this iris. Oh, my word, I keep on calling it an iris. It's an actual pupil. Sorry, people. Let's go down there. It is a Friday afternoon, the end of the week, and quite a hectic week. It's been a beautiful week, actually. I've been very, very proud. I'm part of an art association here in Plettenberg Bay, and wow, we've really done some amazing work. Some of the ladies have gone and worked with the kids. They had a whole kids program happening down at the beach where they were educating them on all sorts of things, and it's just been the most incredible week all round. Okay, let's get this line in. Now, the bottom, there is a line that goes all the way around the bottom. You can see that of the eye. So let's get that in, because we also have this white reflection here at the bottom, which we're going to add because that really does give a beautiful touch. This goes around and then it comes down. Okay, then we're going to get our blender. I've been using these. I found them really fantastic, and they're called Fantastics. They're here at the local shop. Oh my word, hang on a minute, that one's got something on it which it shouldn't have. Go to this one. And I just found that they are just so easy to blend, and I'm hoping that they last longer than the paper ones, the stumps last, because I hate throwing things away. Let's get this line in here, around the side of this eye. There's always a shadow that comes around the side of the eye. Let's get this in, get that in. There we go, across there. And we can start taking this into the pupil. Oh my word, I'm really getting this the wrong way around. Into the iris. This is the iris. Getting the two completely the wrong way around. Let's get this down to the iris. Let's get that shadow in across the top here. Blending is just beautiful. It just, oh, you can immediately start seeing that this eye starts looking round and not a flat object on the paper. This top part of this lid is dark as well, and so is the corner of this tear duct. So let's get that done. There we go. It's already starting to look like something. We will pull out the whites. Don't worry about the whites that are in the corners of the tear duct and that. I've filled in that. I just want to take that out. The edge of the pupil. Take out my blending. Okay, remember I said you don't smudge it. Don't go across it with your finger, and I was just about to do that. Right, so I've taken that out. Let's move to a 4B. And let's just get in a little bit more depth around here. As you can see that this is really dark against the eye. You can see that the edge of the iris is really dark. It's beautiful. Let's get that in. Let's get the other side in. And you can make adjustments as you are drawing. Please don't get hooked on, as I say in all of my tutorials, please don't get hooked on that it's not perfect, or that you haven't got the right line, or that it's not great, or that you're feeling that you haven't achieved whatever it is that you are drawing, because practice is everything. And it doesn't matter if you don't get it 100%, because you can adjust as you go along. That's what's so great about graphite. And also you're learning as you go along. Let's just take this white out of the bottom. I don't want to get that in. Today's a very warm day, and for some reason I can see that those rubber bits are sticking on my paper. We've got a very warm day here today. It's absolutely glorious. It's supposed to be winter, but we are sitting in about, I think, 28 degrees. It's just beautiful weather. Let's just go around here. get that done. Pull the graphite ends, particularly on this right hand side, because you can see that he's got a lot of dark marks on the edge here. It goes up into the pupil. So we're going to slowly build that up. The bottom here also has dark, beautiful markings. Oops, my apologies, I've picked up the wrong pencil. Let me go back to my 4B. So we're going to slowly build this up. Just do it lightly, lighter than what you have been along the edge. Take your pencil and actually pull it in towards the pupil to give it that round feel. I'm going to come in slightly here, just above those white highlights. And we're going to take this 4B into the pupil. You can see that it actually radiates out. It's just amazing. Make sure that you're working on a flat side, in other words, a blunt side of your pencil. You don't want any sharp, sudden marks on your pupil. So there we go, all the way around. This comes down, big shadow here. You start putting in these marks that we see along the bottom, radiate up towards the lid. This goes in quite a bit on the right hand side, and then we have this that radiates down the bottom here. Okay, let's blend again. There's a nice shadow here on the left of the eyeball. Blend in towards the pupil. Try not to get too much graphite onto this bottom area here where we want to pull out that highlight. Go into the pupil, pull that out. Remember, you have got this highlight here on this side of the pupil. Let's just do that to complete the pupil. And you've got the shadow. Okay. So there we are, already getting a nice glossy eye. You can see it's starting to look wet, it's starting to look glossy. Let's do this around here. There's quite a bit of shadow there. Just do it very, very lightly with your pencil. Don't put in too much pressure on it. This side of the tear duct goes up there. Right. Let's blend that very, very carefully to the eye. Blend on the side. Remember, we're going to lift out, so don't be worried if you feel that your blending is too dark. Let's put some more down here. Now let's mark out that top lid. Let's just do it with our blender to more or less get that line in. Okay. Let's go back into the pupil. You really want that pupil nice and deep and dark. Let's go back around the edge. The edge is very, very dark. Just go slightly inside the edge that you have drawn there previously, because then it'll give you that, you can see that transition between the dark and the actual eyeball itself. It just gives a lovely, lovely round look. The side is particularly dark, so we want to get that in. We want to get that shadow across there. And you want to get that round. That's what that's giving, that a beautiful round look. Right. Let's blend again. I know we're doing a lot of blending, but it really does give so much to a drawing. And you can see that we blend, we lift, we blend again. I'm going to leave the pupil. Just want to get that shadow, this shadow in over here. There's quite a bit of shadow on this side of the eye. I just want to get that in. Just get this blended out again. Right, that's looking very, very nice indeed. Let's start lifting out, and then we'll be able to see whether we have our tonal values correct or not. You can see how this Tombow just gives you such an edge on lifting out when it comes to irises. Remember that it radiates either out of the pupil, whichever way you're doing it, towards the bottom of the eye, or there's these that go around this, which is obviously a reflection of, might be hairs. But you can really get a lot of detail when you use a Tombow when doing eyes. It's just an incredible tool. Okay, this side here, there's some happening. There we go. Goes into here. To really try and get those, let's get this out the bottom here. We've got, goes into the actual black as well on the side. Right, let's have a look and see where we're at. Remember, your eye will look different. Everybody's eye will look different. It's not about it looking the same unless you're doing hyper realistic drawings. It's about getting that round, glassy look for an eyeball. If you tap on near the pupil there, you can actually get that little bit more of that graphite art, which does give it a bit more of a glossy look. So we've got this section here at the bottom that I want to get in. I like this section. Just makes it so different. So I'm going to put that in, and then you've got a few little black areas that we can put in. Oops, remember, try not to get the point. Try to get a blunt part so that you don't suddenly get a line there that you don't really want. Some lovely little marks on this side. You're not going to get it all exactly the same, but if you can try and get some of those shapes as close as possible, you're going to have this eye looking very, very good indeed. Let's get that back down to very, very black. We'll go in with a darker degrees in a minute. Get that eyeball. Okay. Iris. Right. So now we have all that beautiful eyeball done. Let's just try and get some of this white. You can see that it's quite bright here. Just want to get some of that out, but still keeping it looking organic. Let's try and get some of this out that I've put in a bit too much at the bottom here. Just lift it ever so lightly with your kneaded eraser, and then do the same thing over here. You can see that there's a lighter section here. Let's just lift that out. Let's lift along this edge. Although it is a very, very light tonal value around the bottom of the eye here, let's just work with it in white for the moment. It's lifting away all the rubber debris that it's accumulating. It's really strange today that I'm getting all this debris, but never mind. Right, so now at the bottom of this eye is a distinct black line. So I'm just going to put that in. That will help give those white highlights depth. Take that up there so it looks like it belongs. Bring it down just to the top of the highlight so it looks a little bit more organic. Now we can start putting in the grey at the bottom. And what I'm putting in is I'm putting in this here, which is the bottom eyelid, or bottom lid. So I'm just pulling that down into there. That pencil line that we made. So get it a bit neater than what it was before. There we go. We're going to work on this side now. We're going to work on the tear duct. We're going to get the white out highlight, the top corner here. We're going to get this out at the bottom, and there is a highlight there. And there's this light, very, very slight highlight on that side. Okay, I can't say that I'm happy with that shape. So let me take my blender and let me get that shape in that I can see there. And this darker edge, there's a very, very dark shadow here. Let me get that in. Okay, let's do that again. Very, very light at the top. When you use your Tombow, try to use an edge. So if you want to get an edge, you can rub off like that, as if you're rubbing off, and then you end up with a point, hoping that you can see that. You can go in and get these very, very thin lines that show on certain areas that you are busy drawing with. There is a light reflection here that I can see across. I'm just going to put that in. And there's a light reflection here that I can see. So I'm just going to take that out. Generally, when a light source comes in from anywhere really, so it's coming in from here, it should be lighter at the bottom, but I don't see that on this. So we're just going to leave it as it is. just want to take some of this out just to make it look a little bit more organic. Get that shape in. Right, now we can start putting in some detail on the eyeball itself. And I am going to put in these little, I can see little veins here. Just do it very, very lightly. Hardly touch the paper, because then we're going to just go over them. Let's just do that. Goes in over here. That one goes there. There's a bit of a shadow here to that corner. I just want to blend this a little bit. The one thing that I do find about these fantastic blenders is that they don't really have a very, very hard point. So sometimes I do need to go in with this blender to get that point blended out. Right, so we're just going to tap over these, sort of almost smudge them out. Take this edge of take it out around so that you get that translucent edge to the eyeball. Let's take it out. Both sides have got it. Just adds a little bit more to the eyeball itself. Let's do the other side. Let's do this side. This side, there's an eyelash coming down, so we're going to put that in. And then we've got almost like a broken vein happening over here. We're going to take that. There's some more veins in this side. And this sort of radiates out, so I'm just going to gently pull that out. This we just need to smudge. There we go. And then there are some, you can see here, there's in the corner things going on in the eye. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I'm hoping that your eyes are looking great, and I'm hoping that you are happy and satisfied with what you've done so far. Okay, let's get stuck into the eyelashes. Now, eyelashes are random, as you know, so we are just going to go for it. And they go at every single angle. You can see that I'm using that sort of a shape when I do them. When we get here, they are a lot straighter, although some of them do go up. But it's important that you get them going in every single direction. You can see that he has got so many eyelashes, almost jealous. As you start going around the top of the eye, obviously they start going in the other direction. Just keep going. We are lucky here with the amount of eyelashes he's got, because we can just kind of go for it. Even if it does look a bit over the top for a male, this is actually what his eyelashes look like. Right now we're going to smudge up into them, because you can see that that is what we have here. Some of them are clumped together. This bottom part comes down and then it goes into there. And this top here we can Blend some pencil graphite into that. This part of the eye is generally lighter, so take it across the top there. Don't go down onto the top of the lid here. Take it down. You can see that there's a highlight here, the top of the eye, whereas this part is quite dark. Let's just smudge these out. You don't really want that to be the focus. You can take your, oh, sorry guys, you can take your Tombow and take some out. There are gaps. Let's take the gaps out rather than trying to put them in. Whatever's easier for you. I prefer taking them out afterwards. I have more control like that. And I just find that it looks a bit more organic than if I try to, unless I'm doing hyper realistic, then I will follow exactly what these eyelashes look like. But this is not hyper realistic. This is more realism than hyper realistic. Then we can blend this back again. Remember, don't take it into this area here because there's always a highlight across there. You can even see that there are highlights here, which we're going to take out. They're randomly in between, just where the light has got to. Part of the top of the eyelid. And put this line in. Got more or less an idea of where it goes. Take that down. Put that shadow in the bottom. Okay, now we're going to do the bottom eyelashes, and you can see that there is a gap here. There's a gap where the eyelashes start. So I'm just going to draw a line here. This will help you just define where those eyelashes go. So just put in a very, very fine line with your Tombow so that you can see where that goes on there. Let's get that lid defined. It doesn't matter if you've got eyelashes that go down into the eye, because that does happen, as you know, with your own eye. I'm not really enjoying this here, so I want to get rid of that. Okay, it looks a bit neater. Right, let's go for the bottom. And again, it's very, very all over the place. He has eyelashes forever and a day. My pencil should be a bit sharper, but it seems to be doing all right. You can turn your pencil to get to a sharper point as you are doing this. And the same with the bottom. These eyelashes are everywhere. They go in every direction, so you can clump them, you can take them apart from each other. So you basically just want to try and get it as organic as possible. And there we have our eye. I really do hope that you have enjoyed drawing this with me. I have really enjoyed drawing this with you, and am hoping that you practice, because practice is what makes perfect, as much as we don't want to hear it. And we will build up slowly until eventually we have a beautiful sketchbook full of the most amazing sketches. Have an awesome weekend, everybody, and let's draw some more again next week. Bye.